Welcome back to Swat&Vee Immigration News. Please don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel. In this video, we are going to talk about Democrats trying to push forward with plans to legalize 8 million immigrants through budget bill. Let's get into the video. The slim Democrat majority in Congress is pushing forward with an ambitious plan to legalize an estimated 8 million immigrants living in the U.S. without legal status through a budget bill that would circumvent the 60-vote threshold typically needed to pass major legislation in the Senate. Democratic staff met with the Senate parliamentarian on Friday to try to convince her that the massive legislation program that can be enacted through the budget reconciliation process, a procedure that allows spending bills to pass the Senate a simple majority. Congressional Republican staff were expected to argue against the proposal. If the Senate parliamentarian rules on whether an element of legislation can be allowed in a budget bill, the parliamentarian has to determine whether the provision has a direct budgetary impact. If successful, the legislation plan would allow undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. as children, temporary protected status beneficiaries (TPS), farm workers, and other pandemic-era essential workers to apply for a permanent U.S. residence or green cards. Democrats' aide says their proposal complies with the reconciliation rules. Historically, provisions that the Senate parliamentarian determined would have an incidental impact on the budget of collapse, including a plan to raise the minimum wage in February. We believe that passing this legislation through reconciliation is permissible because the bill's budgetary effects are substantial, direct and intended results, and that the non-budgetary effects do not so disproportionately but outweigh the budgetary effects as to make them merely incidental, one aide said. The budgetary impact, according to the Democratic aides, is that the legislation would allow immigrants to apply for permanent residency, which would qualify them for federal benefits like Affordable Care Act, health care subsidies, Medicaid, refundable tax credit, supplemental security income, and the Supplement on Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP or food stamps. The Congressional Budget Office preliminary estimates predict that this would increase budget deficits by $139.6 billion over a 10-year period. The aide said this would amount to a substantial and direct budgetary impact. The aide added. The Democrats argue the aides noted does not include the huge boost they believe the legalization program will inject to the U.S. economy. Democratic Congressman Roe Roos, chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, said this is the moment to place millions of undocumented immigrants on a pathway to U.S. citizenship, highlighting their contribution to the U.S. effort to fend of the coronavirus pandemic. The agency has reached its peak in light of this pandemic and seeing how dreamers, farm workers, and essential workers contributed to the safety and sustainability of our society while taking on the biggest brunt of hospitalizations and deaths. Roos, a California Democrat, congressional officials said they could receive a decision from the Senate parliamentarian as early as next week. If the first bid is not successful, Roos said Democrats will present a new case to the parliamentarian to vouch for the legalization program inclusion. Even if the new case to the parliamentarian to vouch for the legalization program inclusion, even if the parliamentarian signs off, the Democrats' legalization proposal is unlikely to garner any support from congressional Republicans, who have denounced it as amnesty. In a 16-page internal outline obtained by CBS News, Republican staffers in Congress said a large-scale legalization program could increase unemployment and lead to fraudulent green card application. They also criticized Democrats for proposing to legalize undocumented immigrants amid a 21-year high in migrant apprehensions along the U.S.-Mexico border. Democrats cannot pass amnesty through regular orders in the Senate due to filibuster, so they are attempting to bypass the need to closer and are using the reconciliation process to enact the largest mass amnesty in history. The Republican outline said Democrats, however, believe historical precedent is on their side, citing a 2005 budget reconciliation bill that would have increased the number of green cards available to immigrants. The final bill did not include this provision, but the Republican-led Senate passed the version with a green card increase. During their call with reporters on Thursday, the Senate Democratic aide conceded that the legalization program, if enacted, would be a massive operation for the Department of Homeland Security, which reviews green card petition. It will be a significant undertaking for them to process potential millions of applications, it said. Hopefully, the details and information presented in this video is helpful. Please share this information with friends and family who may need it. You can also help us spread the word by sharing it on all social media. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit on the notification bell for more immigration updates. Bye!